Hello again, welcome to another lesson on Clinton Virtual Academy. So today I'm going to be looking at the life cycle of organism. Okay, our organisms, the organisms that I'm going to be looking at today are a maize plant and then an okra plant or okra plant. Those are the two organisms that we'll be looking at today. Okay, so materials needed for the survival of plants in the environment. Let's look at that before we look at the life cycle. Previously, we have learned that air is a mixture of gases. Remember? And the components of air are nitrogen, oxygen, and other gases. Plants, as living things, need carbon dioxide and other inorganic materials to prepare their own food. So we shall learn how plants use certain materials from the environment to prepare their own food in order to survive. So the materials plants need to prepare their own food include water, carbon dioxide, sunlight, chlorophyll. Okay, they are materials plants need to prepare their own water. So during the process of photosynthesis, oxygen and glucose are what produced. The oxygen produced is released from the leaves into the atmosphere, and the glucose produced is the prepared food for the plant. So part of the glucose provides energy for the growth of the plant, and the remaining glucose is stored in the leaves and the roots, which is later used by plants. We can represent the process of photosynthesis by a simple equation. So the equation is this: carbon dioxide or air plus water in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll gives us sugar, which is the glucose, and then oxygen. Right? So this is the simple chemical equation. The simple equation you can represent photosynthesis by. So what are the functions of the materials the plants use to prepare their food? Well, in the carbon dioxide, the plant breathe in carbon dioxide and breathe out oxygen. The carbon dioxide from the air enters the leaves of the plant through the stomata. The stomata are the small pores on the leaves of the plant. Okay, so the holes in the leaves are so tiny that they cannot be seen with the bare eyes. When it comes to the water that the plant uses is obtained in the soil. The roots are the part of the plant that absorb the water from the soil and then send it to the other part of the plant, which the leaf will use to combine with sunlight to prepare the food that the plants need. Okay. Now when you come to the sunlight, it provides energy that the plant needs to make the food. Okay, so the chlorophyll in the plant leaves absorbs energy from the sunlight and sends it to the other part of the plant, which help in the preparation of the food. So when you go on a nature's walk and pluck fresh leaves on plant and squeeze it, you realize that the liquid coming out is green. Okay, the liquid coming out is green. That green liquid is the chlorophyll that we are talking about. Okay, photosynthesis can only take place when there is a presence of chlorophyll. So if the plant does not have the chlorophyll, it cannot produce its own food. Now let's look at the life cycle of an okra plant. So every plant goes through certain stages before it is able to produce food. So after the production, the seeds of the plant are planted again to produce new plants. Okay, the stages plant goes through is what we call life cycle. So the life cycle of a particular plant may be different from another plant. We are going to describe the life cycle of okra and then maize plant in this lesson. So if you look at the images there, you realize that the life cycle of an okra starts with the seed development. Okay, so from the seed development, it goes to the seed germination. It germinates and becomes a leafy plant, a small leafy plant. So that small leafy plant is also going to grow to become a flowering plant. A flowering plant. So now you see that it gets to a point the okra plant is going to have some flowers on it. So from the seed, it will get to a stage where the seed is going to germinate, sprout out of the soil. Then you are going to see leaves, small leaves on the plant. Now from that stage, the plant is going to also grow gradually. So you start seeing flowers on the plant. So at that stage, that's the flowering stage. Okay, so after the flowering stage, then comes the fruit stage. So the flowers is going to give way to the fruit to come. Now when the fruit come, then the okra has reached its maturity and it's going to be harvested. After harvesting, the seeds are the okra seeds are going to be dried for another planting season. Okay, so basically that is the cycle of the okra plant. So as I was explaining, it starts from the seeds, gets to the germination point, gets to where it become a young plant, gets to when it starts to bear flowers, and then finally it will start to bear fruit, which is the okra. The fruit matures into a fruit which contains seeds, as shown in the diagram above. Then the cycle continues when the seeds become dry and are planted again. Alright, so basically the maize also follow the same kind of cycle. Okay, so it also follows the planting of the seed, the germination, it will sprout, then seedling, come to the flowering plant, then the fruit, and then the fruit with seeds will come. Then harvest time is here again. The cycle continues again when the fruit or the seeds are dried and planting season comes again. Okay, so this is the end of our lesson. I hope now you know how we get our okra and how we get our maize. All right, so I'll see you again in another lesson. Until then, do stay and stick with me. Till next time, see ya.